Hello, hello, hello. I am Grum, coach and general manager of your Philadelphia T-Tars. This is my face, and this is the end of the season review for the Philadelphia T-Tars edition, or the UNPL Season 5 edition of the Philadelphia T-Tars. If you like competitive content, especially Draft League, go ahead and leave a like in the description below while I throw a pen on the ground out of frustration that you have not liked and subscribed just yet. But if you'd like to even take it further, my Patreon in the description below does have the more behind-the-scenes looks and exclusive content for your enjoyment for as low as $1. And any support, whether with likes and subscribes, and or even further on the Patreon, I appreciate it all the same. I'm just doing this kind of off the rip, kind of like more of like I don't have a time to rehearse type thing. There's no question. It's not a press conference, but I kind of wanted to do this for the last couple of seasons, but I basically didn't plan it right. It was basically BBR, the BBR season rolled right into the UNPL Spring Fling, which then rolled right into the Season 5. Yada yada, all that stuff, right? So I haven't really had a break to sit down and do these kind of stuff. Plus, I didn't know exactly how I wanted to do it. So during the course of this season, which was the last draft league season for me for the year, I decided I wanted to map things out a little bit better, content related to the content for the league and draft league and whatnot. And I just really wanted to make sure I had I don't know. I feel like the common theme throughout the entire, the entire season was taking my mistakes and making myself better because of it. Hey, I drafted this Pokemon, used it wrong. I drafted this Pokemon, didn't get to use it. I didn't prep for this Pokemon properly the last time I faced it, and it beat me. I played this person and they beat me, so I want to beat them. For the most part, I was just kind of that was the theme, and hopefully the idea being do all that, win the title. And we'll get to it a little bit about how good that felt to really do that. But that was my one of the goals was, that was the overall goal, right? Is to just kind of finish out the year strong, kind of be able to, a year, this time last year I wasn't doing draft league content. I was running a league with some friends, I was running a league for some friends who all were kind of new, for the most part, new to it. And I was man, I really just want to do the content. I want to do, I was even making content for, the DSPL, the Dorkside Pokemon League, my league. You can go see the videos and streams and whatnot. And it was a good time. I did that for a year. I did that for a year. I still do it, but, we did Season 1 was this time last year, and then Season 2 kicked off right around the same time that I was doing I jumped in to doing stuff with the Charizard Premier League, and just starting from scratch-ish as a content creator. Kind of I don't know, a thing. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and every 18 months to 2 years, I kind of do a different thing. I went from being a variety streamer to being a Grand Theft Auto roleplay streamer, and then I went into doing I went from being a Twitch affiliate to saying screw you to the entire platform, and went with a dedicated support me through Patreon. You get more value out of your money, and you don't put money into the pocket of Twitch if that's a problem for you. And then it let me at the time stream on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time, because you couldn't, as an affiliate, do that. You couldn't stream at the exact same, you could not simultaneously stream onto YouTube. And I was all right, well, look, here, go here, I'll do it here, and then I'll spread a wide cast, right? And it worked out for the most part. Anyways, my goal for this year was do this, have some fun with it, see where we fall. Very happy with that. I think wouldn't say I found I don't know, my what's the word? I found I found a method of making that's fun. I get to think about the game a little bit, and then I play the game for 35, 40 minutes, and then edit it for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, or at least think of editing it for a lot longer, and then have an idea of what I want to do or work on a script. Bam, perfect, right? And that's one of the goals for this season specifically. I wanted to get better at scripting my introductions. When I started doing Draft League content, I didn't script it at all. Like, I did not do it at all. I just would basically be like, this is why I'm bringing this guy, this is why I'm bringing this guy, this is why I'm bringing this guy, and I would go in post and kind of cut it up to make it sound like I, had an idea of what I was like reading a script, right? Midway through the year, I stopped, and then I said, okay, let me start bullet pointing, right? I'll read off like the sets and everything, and like, this is why I picked this move, this is why we have this EV spread, yada yada yada. And then with the BBR D League and the Spring Fling, I kind of stopped that, and I was like, well, let me just say who I'm bringing, right? These are the 6 that I'm bringing. This is the team I am bringing. Perfect, good, right? And then I'm like, all right, well, okay, but I still have my like initial reaction to seeing my opponent's team in the battle anyways, right? It doesn't go straight from the battle or my intro into the battle. It goes to me being like, hey, we're here. Oh, this is who they brought. Cool, awesome. Or, oh no, like I didn't prep for that at all. And I'm like, that's kind of redundant, right? And I went back to when I first got to season 4 of UNPL, I picked up a team midway through. I filled in, and I kind of did this whole like Lemony Snicket, like, oh, these were orphan children and I picked them up and I'm going to tell this story, and trying to script a narrative through that, because I enjoy Uzi Gunner's content. Like, I really just enjoy Joey Pokegame got me like watching his stuff. Like, a little backstory, I didn't get into competitive Pokemon until like late Gen 8 and like VGC, for the most part, just because there was a pandemic going on. So I was like, what else am I gonna do? And I was like, all right, cool. At the time, single, late 20 something, I liked playing Pokemon, and then I got into competitive Pokemon, and it was fun. It was good times. I loved it. It was a good time. But there was something missing, because when I would go to try to play, when I would like go, oh, let me go play on Smogon, for reasonable reasons, had banned Dynamax. So I was like, man, like, damn, I want to play singles. I want to competitively play singles Pokemon with Dynamax, right? And I didn't know about Draft League. So fast forward a little bit, the new game comes out. I jump back into VGC and did pretty well. I mean, I didn't go to like tournaments and everything, but I enjoyed it. I think the highest I got on the ladder on Wi-Fi, I think I got to like 30 with like an Azumarill, Meowscarada, King Gambit. Who was my third? I named them all after luchadors too. Meowscarada, Azumarill. There was Armarouge, Indeedee, King Gambit, and I forget who the 6th one was. But either way, it was good times, right? It was fun, liked it, awesome. Yeah, cool, awesome. And then I started watching, obviously you get involved into competitive Pokemon, you start watching, competitive Pokemon players, and I started watching Joey, and among others, and then Joey, I forget what the first season was, that he was in. I think it was BBR. I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. But when the PPL, that started, I was like, yo, that's awesome. Like, Draft League's so cool. My buddy's like, yo, you didn't know about Draft League. Or he told me a little bit about Draft League. And I said, cool, I might check it out. But never like sent me like a link to, the actual content behind it. And I was just like, kind of like, wow, this is great. Like this, I like sports and I like Pokemon. Let me take sports and Pokemon, put them together. Awesome. And I can throw some wrestling in there. Easy, great, fantastic. So I get involved in it, and my introductions That's a really long-winded. Maybe I'm just going to cut that off. I don't know. I did 5 minutes on this whole thing. All that to say, watching Joey got me into watching Uzi and other general managers. And Uzi, like, the intros are just so very good. Like, the editing is great, but the introductions of weaving a narrative into the results of a game and kind of setting up a larger thing is very wrestling coded. Like, it's, and I'm like, oh, hey, cool. Also Uzi at the time was the Bullet Punch Club. And I was like, yo, awesome, too sweet me, Uzi, that kind of stuff. But all that to say, I was very happy that I started to do that myself, right? And I was kind of discouraged in season 4 because my intros were too long. They weren't entertaining. They were not good. I can say that now. But so I was like, all right, let me figure out a way to do these and make them better. Worked on it a little bit, used some stock footage from websites, Envato, shout out them. I pay for a subscription for that. Cause good stuff. Cause I had one that went aside and that sucked. Rest in peace, Digital Juice. But all that to say, I had a really good time getting better at my introductions. At least I thought I was throughout like BBR, D League, Scramble, the Scramble. Well, I did the Scramble, but I didn't do. But the Spring Fling, right? And I was like, something's not right here. So I decided, like towards the end of the Scramble, and then into this one, I wanted to get better at my introductions. The Scramble was 8 games. And those 8 games, I got better at introductions, right? I had, hey, this person, throwing a little joke there, but I still focused a little bit too much on the actual team. And I decided I'm going to just take that out, right? I'm just going to talk about last week this happened, just to catch you up if this is the first time you're watching. And then I'm going to talk this week, I'll set up the game without talking about my team at all, right? I'm not going to tell you my sets and all that stuff because all that stuff is going to be in the battle. So if you want to watch that, good, go, like if you want that information, it's going to be in the battle. Go watch it. And I decided the little change of the production of, instead of having this like graphic take up a quarter of the screen, I would have this nice little card that would come up, flip, and go back down. And I'm like, cool, awesome. This way it's not taking away from the battle. It's not taking away from my commentary, but it's offering somebody enough all the information they need to know. Here's what my attack stat is. Here's what my speed stat is. Here are the moves, item, and ability. Perfect. That's all you need to know. Perfect. Awesome. So I did all that, right? I wanted to bounce back though from the D League, the BBR D League performance. The last like full regular draft, I stunk it up. I picked a mostly fire team. It wasn't, but a team that was very weak to rocks, is Sun team without a remover. First time drafting weather, and it wasn't great. I underused Chi-Yu and Walking Wake. Like if I look at this team, I have this spreadsheet where I get to look at my stats. I'm like 90% sure. Walking Wake and Chi-Yu each had like 5, well, each combined for 11 knockouts. Hoopa had 11 himself, right? But that's it. Everybody else, like, just not good. Just bad. And, everyone, I think I went 3-5, maybe 2. Yeah, 3-5, I think. I went 3-5. I wanted to do better. I was like, that's not good enough. I want to be better. So that was my goal. So I wanted to make a Sun team work. And I did it the way I thought I should have done it originally, which was don't rely on Sun, but I made it a full Sun team, and that was the mistake. I went too far. I also wanted to, going into the season, I wanted to make it further into the playoffs than the previous UNPL season, right? These are my first Wi-Fi league. Danny, I battled Danny. I talked about it when I played Danny earlier in the season. I played Danny on a Wi-Fi battle. We both made a video of it on our respective channels. Danny was like, this is cool, good time. And then like stayed in touch and was like, hey, would you like to be in the draft league? And I was like, yes, I would. Awesome, cool. How do I gen the Pokemon? Like I was completely lost, right? And I got advice on that, and it was all good. But making it into, I won a playoff game, made it to the quarterfinals. Lost to Thomas. Thomas would go on to win his next 2 games and the title. This time, I wanted to make it further. I wanted to make it at least to semi. So the whole story of getting the championship, cool. If I fall short of that, at least if I make it to semis, I can be like, oh, I was so close, right? But ultimately, I just want to have good games, right? The part of being in this scheme is you want to have good games. I'm content with losing if the game is good. I think that goes for a lot of people, but I'm not in it for like winning or losing. Like, yeah, that would be cool. Well, I want to have good games. I want to make games that are entertaining to watch with commentary that informs and entertains, right? If you're watching this as a draft league content, basically the feeling I want is if you're watching this because you like me and not so much draft league content, I want you to get what you came for, which is my personality to come out through my content. If you are a draft league person, maybe not necessarily there for me, I want you to also get what you came for, which is draft league content, which is good, entertaining battles with insight. And I think for the most part, I did that one too. Like I'm looking at this checklist I got, and yeah, cool, perfect, awesome. But really, like my highlights, like I talked about, my introductions, I think got really good at the end of the season, and I'll talk a little bit about why I hate that. But my match against Ruppy, I did the Deja Vu montage and I threw some effects in there. It was really good. I had plenty of editing jokes. The one against D-Ray, I'm doing the long-winded like talking about like, yeah, this, about like you DoorDash and this and that. Yeah, some good stuff. But I just very happy with the introductions. When I got to the playoffs, I had ideas for how I wanted them to go, and they went very well. I'm very happy with how I finished the season, right? Like making it further. I didn't win. Yeah, it was close, but 7-1, and with the best finish by far for me, like 7-1, near undefeated, first seed, losing in the first game, and then having like a 8-game winning streak into the playoffs is pretty cool, or including the playoffs as well. And losing to Tone, like I love Tone. Tone's a great battler and just was a blast to talk to about games and whatnot. It could have been 1 point worse for me. But I got a crit at the end, so I get to Brambleghast and whatnot. I'm speaking about Brambleghast as well as Purple Pass, really, really overachieved in my mind. I drafted Brambleghast and Decidueye both as my removers, and I consistently brought Brambleghast more because it's like, this is a Pokemon that just comes in on a fighting move or a normal move. Like, this is great. It's very easy to pilot, and I did so many different things with it. I did defensive hazard removing or defensive checks, to threats. But I also had it be offensive. The Tailwind Wind Rider choice band, giving it basically +2 attack and +2 speed. I did it in week 1 because I didn't know if I would be able to do it again, and it worked out pretty well. Worked out pretty well. Maybe not result-wise for the team, but for Brambleghast did great. But Brambleghast was just good in general. I also I led the team in hazard to put up 7 layers of hazards. Maybe I should, if you're interested, let me know. But I can make it so that I can set it up where you guys can see these stats and everything. And if you're interested, let me know in the comments below so that I can see if you're interested in following along with the stats and why I did. I even have a stat for a field assist, and I'm just I'm going to keep calling it field assist, but going forward it'll add clearing hazards from the field for the team as an additional hazard. If you rapid spin, that's 1 field assist, right? Because you are assisting your team by not having hazards up anymore. And forcing your opponent to take a turn to reapply them, right? Brambleghast, just really good. I think a lot of people there's a little if you talk to somebody about Brambleghast, it's okay, but it's not great, I'm like, I don't know, man. That Pokemon, I think I think if you're in a league where it's like 7 or below, maybe even 8 points or below, you take that because you're getting a spinner, a reliable spinner who can set up hazards, who's not a stealer rock type, in fact is a ghost type, and also has leech seed, strength sap, and priority. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good if you ask me. Also has a nice Wind Rider is a nice immunity. We got to show it off against D-Ray. As a defensive ability, right? When we get to go in on the Zapdos and he doesn't show it right away, he doesn't show Hurricane right away, and he just forgot about it. But also as Infiltrator, so it gets around, screens and whatnot. I think Brambleghast is a solid Pokemon. Like if it's at 8 points or below, I would try to find a way to put that on your team. Maybe not as your primary grass type, but also, why not? Like, there's not a lot of good grass types. Like, after a certain point, grass isn't in a great type or in a good position, and this could be, it resists grass. It's a good thing. As my friend Diabeto says, who the inspiration for the name of Diabeto, it will always take more than 50% damage, but it will never get one hit. And it's very true. That is a Pokemon that does not look bulky, but it's bulky enough. But a Pokemon that is bulky, goddamn, Probopass that was a Pokemon that just, the intangibles, Nigel Cornberry, the intangibles, consistently disrupted the team, right? Whether it's put up rocks its own, taunting the fortress and tearing into a ghost type so that it had to Volt Switch out. Just knocking, taking things out with some body presses, just being very hard to kill. It had some thunder waves, also having momentum in Volt Switch, like slow momentum in Volt Switch. Very good. Very good. I was very happy with that, right? I was good that was one of my 2 Terra Captains. And that was the one I brought in 8 times in 10 games, It's hard to say no to like that Pokemon being, it's very important to the team, right? It only had 3 kills, but, and it died almost every game, but man, was it very, very good, very good, very good. It was hard to get rid of, right? It was always chipping things, Rocky Helmet chip, or just body press, or, I think I did Earth Power a couple times. I'm just like, most of the time I'm just clicking, Stealth Rock, Volt Switch, Taunt, just Pain Split was a set that I liked having. It was good. I liked the team for the most part. Like the team, I didn't make any changes. I don't like making changes. The team was very good, right? Multiple Pokemon got 9 or more kills, which means regular season wise, they averaged a kill a game, which obviously is not exactly how it worked, where they didn't just come and get 1 kill and then die. But like Iron Moth had 11 kills, which is like one of the best kills seasons I've had. 9 for Primarina and 9 for Ursaluna. Like Ursaluna was consistent, right? It had 9 over 8 games. It had multiple games where it was multi-killing things. Primarina, Iron Moth had a game at the end of the season kind of inflate that a little bit, but that's what happens, right? I was very happy with Iron Moth's performance. I thought that might have been like if you were like, oh, hey, like between Roaring Moon and Iron Moth, which of your first 2 picks are you most confident in? I would have told you Roaring Moon, dark type. That's fast. It's hard. Perfect. Wasn't the case though, right? Like, I guess I can get to my lowlights. And Roaring Moon, the whole idea was like drafted a mid team, a team full of mid, with the Decidueye and Roaring Moon as the poster children. And yes, I may have done that. They did actually confirm that they were mid. At least with the Decidueye, Roaring Moon, I just think I didn't use it as best as I could, right? Like Diabeto and the rest of the front office had a joke of like, oh yeah, like Grum's gonna just, like congratulations, you figured out like the most obvious like set, like, oh, Choice Band Roaring Moon or Flame Orb Guts Ursaluna, congrats, you figured out how good they are. It's like, I know how good they are, I just don't want to like, I like building differently, right? And Roaring Moon I could build differently. Ursaluna I built differently. Like Roaring Moon, did not have the results that Ursaluna had when building different. You know, I had a Choppleberry set. I had a mirror herb set for a Blaziken matchup that never would have worked out the way I wanted it to because of Sticky Web. That was the other thing I forgot to talk about. The Brambleghast, the curse bullet seed set. I wish I had put on Rapid Spin and just gone with Curse, Bullet Seed, Rapid Spin, and Strength Sap, because then I would have been able to, you know, get +1 speed, get rid of the things, but it almost worked out. Either way, just very happy with that. I was just very happy with that. Not as much about Roaring Moon. Also, I talked about it, my introductions got better, especially late, but I wasn't exactly happy about that. My quality of editing dropped. So I'm in school, and school started back up, and thus once classes like really started getting into gear, my editing went a little bit. The last 2 weeks, having moments where like my introduction is kind of the music of my introduction isn't mixed right, so it's like me talking and then like it's the music like is picking up and I'm not picking up with it, but like I'm not making the music like get lower, you know. I'm not like, I forgot to do that, like, because music was like the last thing I would do, because I was like, all right, here's what I'm talking about, here's what I'm doing, here's the music that I'll get, and I'll put it in afterwards. Right, we're gonna work on that in the future. Shout out Squidge VT, you can see right there. They're great. They're gonna help me work on my scripting, work on my music, like music being like kind of the first thing to think about. The other low light, my Podworm, bud. Yeah, he had his day twice, which is more than I thought, but he just Probopass was more helpful. Mostly because it could Terra. But Orthworm, I found myself fighting a lot of teams that could deal with Orthworm in ways that I did not want to deal with, right? That, like, oh, cool, like, you deal with if you have a fighting type, I have Primarina, I have Brambleghast, we're good, right? If you have a fire type, I've got Volcanion, I've got Roaring Moon, I've got Iron Moth, we're good, right? But it was tough to bring Orthworm when Probopass would be doing most of the stuff. Like, I didn't even Terra. There were games where I would not even Terra Orthworm or Probopass. So it's like, why do I need 2 steals? 2 steals don't actually help me here. It wasn't ideal, right? Like, at least with like Volcanion came in some games and just really shut shit down. Just good stuff. Primarina came in, shut stuff down. But I don't know. I love Orthworm. It's still good. I would still take it. I'm not going to regret never ever taking that worm. That's the guy. But it was tougher too when I had a better steel type. But I don't know. I feel like, let me know in the description below if there was something that you wish you had seen from the T-Tars this season, and maybe going forward that's something I can work on. But that's going forward, which I guess I can use that to get into the next thing. What's next? What is next for me and the Philadelphia T-Tars? Well, we're not yet done quite with talking about season 5 of the UNPL. That is because we have the season 5 team awards. So there's 6 questions, 6 awards. We've got MVP, most valuable Pokemon. We've got support mon of the year. We've got performance of the year. We've got game of the year. We have set of the year, and video intro of the year. So let me just real quick, I'm going to go over that for y'all real quick. Because you know what? I feel like you would like that, you know? I feel like, why not? Why not have the information here, right? So we got the season 5 T-Tars right here on the screen. Boom, right there. Most valuable Pokemon, Iron Moth, 5-1 record, 11 knockouts, 1 deaths, got 2 statuses, 2 big statuses, by the way. Well, 1 big status. The other one was a misclick, or a victim of a misclick. Then we got Primarina, 5-2 record, 9 knockouts, 3 deaths. We had Probopass, who was 7-1 on the season, 3 KOs. This is the total season, so that 1 loss being in the playoffs. 3 KOs, 7 deaths, 6 hazards, and 1 status. Ursaluna being 6-2 with 9 KOs, and 6 deaths. So those are your MVP Pokemon right there. Then after that, we have the Support Mon of the year. Support Mon basically being Pokemon who maybe they didn't rack up the kills incredibly, but like they helped out other ways, whether it was being a wall, clearing hazards, setting up the teammates for stuff. So we've got Brambleghast 5-1 with a 6 knockouts, 5 deaths, and 7 hazard set. Also was the primary spinner on the team. We have the Decidueye, who had 2-1 with 1 kill, 3 deaths, and 3 field assists. So field assists basically was the fact that he set up Tailwind. He set up Tailwind. Set up Tailwind, and I think I also that was it. It was Tailwind. It was 2 Tailwind kills it was a Tailwind kill for Brambleghast, and then 2 Tailwind kills for Ursaluna. Thundurus Incarnate 5-1 with 5 kills, 5 knockouts, 5 deaths, 1 status, and 2 field assists. Those ones being the electric terrain and the electric terrain for Iron Moth, and I think the sun for Roaring Moon. And then Probopass 7-1, 3 knockouts, 7 deaths, 6 hazards, 1 status. Kid did pretty well there. Took a lot of hits. So, I think he'll probably win Support Mon of the Year, because I think the fact that he's a MVP might sway the vote. I hope not. I hope people can be like, maybe, yeah, but I felt like it was very important to put him in both. Performance of the year, week 1, Brambleghast's 3 KOs, 1 deaths against Tone. Week 4, we had Ursaluna having 3 knockouts and a status against Kel, and that was not the Flame Orb set. Week 6 was the Flame Orb set, 3 knockouts, lived the Hurricane on red health, and fought through confusion to clinch a 2-0 win against D-Ray. And then we had the 5-0, the 5 knockout performances by Primarina and Iron Moth. Game of the year, we had 3 there. We got week 3 against Danny Mac. It was a 1-0 victory that came down. The Ursaluna in Trick Room really beat us up. Week 2 was the D-Ray 2-0 victory. We just went over that with the Ursaluna. And then in the quarter finals of the playoffs against Crash, the 1-0 victory that I really played I really, just made myself, it made it harder at the very end than I needed to. And then set of the year, we've got Brambleghast with Choice Band Wind Rider, Tailwind supported. So that was the set. Brambleghast again in week 4, the curse, the anti-lead, curse, loaded dice, bullet seed, anti-setup, basically, just ruiner of things. Then we got Ursaluna in week 5. We had Guts, max attack, max speed with Tailwind support. And then week 7, we had Terra Rock, the Decidueye with Sandstorm supporting its special defense, so we could set up and effectively have an assault vest. So it was good there. Then we have video intro of the year. The championship climb begins with against Tone. We've got Deja Vu, the Ursaluna, Blood Moon, and Slow King montage. Week 6, Grum's Grubhub Nightmare lesson learned in week 6, and then against Crash, the playoffs in Philadelphia matter more. Those are the 4 that really stood out to me. But let me know what they think. What if they stood out to you by going into the forum. The voting will end when this video goes up. This video is going up on YouTube October 19th. So the video goes up, and then roughly 12 hours later, the polling will stop. I'm going to close the forum. You can't do it, but you can look on the community tab of YouTube. Go on the community tab right now. You'll see all 6 of these polls up. I'm gonna put them up roughly around the same time that the video goes up. So I'm spamming. That might not be good for analytics, but I don't care. I meant to do it earlier this week and I didn't. So doing it last minute. And yeah, that's it. You can go there and vote. Do all the stuff that your heart desires, which as far as voting. What's next for you content-wise, though? Well, we got the awards show. That'll be a video. We've got this BBR Scramble summation video. I'm working on this, kind of doing like a in-post, like, hey, I joined this. This is how I did type video. And then if you're jonesing for weekly content from Grum, I'm going to be the analyst, or I'm going to be an analyst, not the, but an analyst for the season 3, the third season 3 of the BBR D League. again, I didn't have time. I didn't want to commit to, because my time is a little limited. I didn't want to make it more challenging for other players to be like, oh, hey, I'm only available these 2 days or this day in this window. So I decided this way I can work on stuff without holding other people up, right? So that's it. I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna do at least one video a week for that, maybe two, because they went to 18 teams. So that's 9 games a week. It's like 9 games, like 5 minutes. It's a 45-minute video, and then I'm gonna want to do other stuff. Working on a bunch of stuff, a lot of fun stuff up ahead. I'm very excited. But that will almost do it for the T-Tars in Season 5 of the UNPL coverage, all that stuff, until the award show. So go and vote. Again, vote. The link is in the description below. You can go to the community tab. The link is splattered all over there. The last 6 or 7 posts there. You can go to my Twitter at I am Grum. You can go to the Discord at discord.grum.tv. Link is also in the description below, and you can join the Discord. The form is there. And again, like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Stay tuned with what we're doing in the patreon.com/grum or support.grum.tv. Again, in the description below has all the stuff. We'll have some exclusive looks as I'm wrapping up all the production aspects of what I'm working on for the BBR D-League Season 3 analyst stuff. So I hope to see y'all along the journey. And in 2024, we'll be back to drafting and battling our own team. The T-Tars are going to enjoy a nice thing. The Worm needs a long vacation. Volcani needs a long vacation. And I need to work on some production stuff. And school and life. So got big things planned across the board. But I am Grum. And if no one has said it to you yet today, allow me to be the first one to say it to you. I love you.